Andrew's shadow. Andrew had always been drawn to the mysteries of the past. A historian by trade and an adventurer at heart, he had spent years in the quiet village of Greystone, nestled deep in the woods. The village was known for its eerie silence and long-forgotten tales. One evening, while rummaging through the attic of his centuries-old home, Andrew discovered an aged, leather-bound diary. Dust coated its surface, and the faint smell of mildew filled the air as he opened it. On the first page was a cryptic warning. "What you seek will seek you in return." Andrew was immediately captivated. The diary belonged to a man named Elias Granger, who had mysteriously disappeared over 100 years ago. Its pages detailed strange occurrences in a place called the Silent Clearing, a location that the villagers refused to speak of. Legends said those who ventured there never returned the same, if they returned at all. Andrew, with a mix of curiosity and skepticism, decided to investigate. At dawn, Andrew packed a flashlight, the diary, and a bottle of water before heading into the dense forest. The early morning fog clung to the ground, and the trees seemed unnaturally still. As he followed the map sketched in the diary, the usual forest sounds, bird song, rustling leaves, gradually faded into an oppressive silence. Hours passed before he reached the Silent Clearing. It was a circular patch of land surrounded by towering trees, their branches interwoven to block out most of the sunlight. At the center stood a ring of moss-covered stones, their arrangement too precise to be natural. As he approached, Andrew noticed carvings on the stones, ancient runes that were unfamiliar yet mesmerizing. At the base of one stone, an inscription read, "Offer your light, and the truth shall be revealed." With a trembling hand, Andrew switched on his flashlight and pointed it toward stones. The beam illuminated the carvings, but as the light moved, the shadows began to twist unnaturally, forming shapes that defied logic. Among the distorted shadows, one began to take a human form. Slowly, it stepped forward, separating itself from the surrounding darkness. The figure bore a chilling resemblance to Andrew, his face, his posture, but its eyes were hollow, and its expression twisted with malice. "Who are you?" Andrew whispered, frozen in place. The shadow tilted its head, a mocking imitation of Andrew's movements. It spoke in a low, distorted voice. "I am what you leave behind when you seek the unknown." Andrew's mind raced. The diary had mentioned something about the Silent Clearing holding a mirror to the soul, revealing truths hidden deep within. Was this shadow a reflection of his darker self? Suddenly, the shadow lunged forward, and Andrew stumbled backward, barely avoiding its grasp. The shadows around the clearing began to writhe, closing in on him. He had to get out. Andrew bolted toward the forest, the shadow pursuing him relentlessly. The trees seemed to shift, forming a labyrinth that twisted and turned. The whispers of unseen voices filled the air, each calling his name. In his panic, Andrew tripped over a root, landing hard on the ground. He fumbled for the diary, remembering a passage that described sealing the power of the clearing. To bind the shadows, the light must be returned. He scrambled back to the clearing, dodging the grasping shadows that reached for him. He placed his flashlight in the center of the stone circle, its beam illuminating the carvings. The shadows recoiled, shrinking away from the light's intensity. The shadow figure, however, stood its ground, glaring at Andrew. "This is not the end," it hissed. "You cannot escape what lies within." With a final flicker, the shadow dissolved into the darkness, leaving Andrew alone in the clearing. Back at his home, Andrew sat in silence, his hands trembling. The diary, now resting on his desk, spontaneously caught fire, its pages consumed in an instant. In the ashes, one word remained, etched into the wood below: forever. That night, as Andrew peered out his window, he saw it, his shadow, standing at the edge of the forest, watching him. Though it didn't move, he knew it was a reminder that the clearing's darkness had claimed a part of him.